urge everyone to follow faithfully and consistently the infection prevention measures. Wear a mask when in public. The gathering rule is now at 20, so if you are gathered, ensure that only 20 persons are within 6 feet of you. If not, step out of that group and distance yourself.
We share Prime Minister Andrew Holness's call. Practicing social distancing, avoiding touching your mouth, eyes and nose, and wearing a mask when in public will help us flatten the COVID-19 infection curve. Hello and welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. We have a lot in store for you, so please stay with us.
Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, celebrating over 20 years of investment in community development. JSIF has forged relationships with international funding partners as well as private and public sector entities. Let us continue to invest to reduce vulnerabilities. Let us build our social capital and resilient infrastructures to ensure full participation in Vision 2030. JSIF, investing for community development.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Monday, July 27. Residents of Port Antonio in Portland now have a new police station and divisional headquarters. The facility, which was officially opened on Friday, was renovated at a cost of $92 million, $12 million under budget. Works included the demolition and reconstruction of the divisional headquarters, the station, living quarters, a 40-man cell, and a fully functional kitchen. The facility was completed under the NHT-funded $2 billion upgrade program for police stations.
The government values the tremendous contribution of our security forces and recognizes the immense challenges that they face. We are committed to creating a safer, healthier, and secure working environment for our police force as it pursues its mission to serve, protect, and reassure.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness says significant work continues on 3 police stations, which are to be completed this year. They are the $95 million multi-story Buff Bay Police Station, the $89 million Harmon Barracks project, and the $136 million Olympic Gardens Police Station. Work also continues apace on police stations at Frome, Little London, Lacovia, Anchovy, Savannah Lamar, and Stony Hill. Staff of the Department of Correctional Services, DCS, along with wards and inmates transitioning out of correctional facilities, will be receiving entrepreneurial training. The Ministry of National Security and DCS recently signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Hart NSTA Trust and the Housing Opportunity Production and Employment HOPE program for the training. It was signed last Thursday at the Ministry's Oxford Road office in Kingston. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of National Security, Senator Matthew Samuda, says the program is not just about simply training people to get jobs, but rather to create jobs. He says it will ensure that when they are released, they can have more meaningful interactions in society. Additionally, DCF staff members will benefit from competency-based education and training, which is required to provide certifiable training courses to inmates and wards in correctional facilities. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett is urging citizens to take full advantage of the deals that are being provided under the Rediscover Jamaica campaign. The domestic marketing campaign, which encourages Jamaicans to taste, see, feel, and enjoy the country's tourism product, was officially launched last week.
This is not a knee-jerk reaction because of COVID. Because we started the staycation years ago. We might not have moved it with the energy that we should. But this is a moment when the psychosocial impact of COVID is taking its toll, so we need a release. And the wonderful products are all there. The glories of our culture awaits us. Let's go out, rediscover Jamaica, enjoy the summer, and be safe.
Director of Tourism Donovan White says more than 100 tourism partners are offering discounts and products to Jamaicans.
Stay home and enjoy the product that we and our partners have built together, that has served and provided such wonderful experiences for people from around the world. We want every Jamaican to feel that energy and to feel that product.
Mr. White says offers range from as high as 50% off in some instances. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett is reminding persons that as they enjoy these offerings, they must adhere to the safety protocols that have been established by the government to protect themselves and families against COVID-19. The Revenue Appeals Division, RAD, expects to complete an upgrade of its case management system by September. Commissioner of Revenue Appeals Dr. Delary Staple Chambers says this will allow taxpayers to file and track their appeals online and the RAD to integrate its systems with Tax Administration Jamaica, TAJ, and the Jamaica Customs Agency.
This is to facilitate greater efficiency in the exchange of information and the execution of the appeals process. The system is expected to come on stream. The upgrade, that is expected to come on stream in September 2020.
Dr. Staple Chambers was speaking on Tuesday at a JIS think tank. She says the division will also be launching its customer charter standards this fiscal year to communicate its standards of delivery to stakeholders. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security will be accelerating plans to improve PATH families' access to cash benefits this fiscal year. Minister Mike Henry says this will see more beneficiaries under the Program of Advancement through Health and Education receiving their payments electronically.
This is necessary in order to promote social distance in practice, avoid long wait lines in public spaces, and access much needed funds. With this in mind, the Ministry of Labour and Social Security will also be facilitating more payment options to PATH beneficiaries.
New payment options will include direct deposits to beneficiaries' bank accounts, as well as engaging more service providers to increase access to the benefits.
We issued a call to the banks for the opening of special low interest rate, low fees and no fees bank accounts. I announced that so far only 2 banks have indicated a willingness to do so.
Minister Henry was making his 2020-21 sectoral presentation in the House of Representatives on Tuesday. Up to the April 2020 payment cycle, approximately 85% of PATH families collected their payments in checks. Minister Henry says that for the 2019-2020 fiscal year, the government spent $6.9 billion on cash grants under the program. And finally, the National Council on Technical and Vocational Education and Training (NCTVET) examinations will now be administered by the Overseas Examinations Commission (OEC). This follows the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding between the Commission and HART NSTA last Thursday at the OEC's 6 Manhattan Road, Kingston office. The agreement is in effect up to November 2022.
The OEC is delighted to bring its 133 years of examination administration experience to the table, and we anticipate that we will have a long and fruitful partnership.
Managing Director of the HART NSTA Trust, Dr. Jeanette Dyer, says the MOU will increase the viability and sustainability of the NCTVET assessment and certification of the labor force.
We're very optimistic that this will change the way a lot of our Jamaicans access assessment and certification, and will also help to eliminate some of the assessment challenges we have been experiencing.
Under the MOU, NCTVET and OEC will share information and technical expertise. They will collaborate in organizing symposia, seminars, and conferences, and will share facilities and amenities to facilitate the training of clients and prepare them for emerging jobs. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
$308 million program for water alleviation, $528 billion for water infrastructure projects, and investments in weather monitoring equipment. Just some of the measures to ease the ongoing dry spell being experienced across the island. Get the details in this next feature.
A shower of rain doth not a drought break. This statement is true for us here in Jamaica, as while we've been enjoying more frequent rainfall, we continue to experience a dry spell.
We had a May 2020 that produced less rainfall in every parish compared to May of 2019. Every parish had less than the year before. In some cases, it was even less than a quarter of last year's figures.
And projections suggest this will go unabated.
Severe drying will continue over northeastern parishes, including Portland and St. Mary, through to August. Moderate drying is likely for south central and southeastern parishes, while nearer to normal conditions are expected as we move toward the west of the country.
While this weather condition persists, government has implemented its drought management response, complete with several alleviation initiatives. Cabinet has approved $308 million in emergency funds to lessen the impact of drought on the island. Of that amount, each member of parliament will receive $1 million to assist with the trucking of water and distribution of black tanks. This complements a similar allocation in March. The National Water Commission has been given $100 million to truck the liquid to affected communities across the island. Additional water shops and trucking will continue at the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development through a $75 million injection. Close to $70 million will go to the Rural Water Supply Limited for the provision of 130 wayside tanks and the construction of 39 loading bays island-wide.
The benefits to be derived from the installation of the wayside tank at the strategic locations include easy access to potable water by residents in areas devoid of adequate water supply, ease of delivery of water by trucking when compared with the house-to-house delivery, and the installation of the loading bays also at strategic locations will enhance the trucking of water and reduce the cost of water delivery, thereby making it more efficient and more cost-effective.
The Rural Water Supply Limited has also been given an additional $528 million to carry out water infrastructure projects around the island. This is in addition to the $795 million that's been disbursed for rural water. Focus will be placed on rural water upgrading, catchment tank rehabilitation, and rainwater harvesting in schools. 45,000 Jamaicans are expected to benefit.
A major wayside black tank program to immediately address drought-stricken communities is also underway, while the program in schools and catchment tank rehabilitation also continues while addressing both the drought and COVID-19 challenges.
Some programs that we're doing for this year, we're doing the Watermount water supply system. Watermount is an area in West Central St. Catherine that has water challenges. You have another area called Flower Hill that is in Montego Bay. Flower Hill is the highest point of Montego Bay, in conjunction with the Water Commission, where we take some water from Coral Gardens and we put water up in Flower Hill.
The Rural Water Supply Limited will also be drilling a well at Queen Height, St. Anne, and putting in water infrastructure at Maroon Town. 30 schools will be equipped with water harvesting systems, and 12 catchment tanks will be repaired in the financial year. For a more long-term approach, the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation has ramped up its drought preparation and mitigation efforts. The Meteorological Service has stepped up its monitoring of weather conditions by increasing its observation network. Plans are in progress to increase by 15% the density of rain gauges and automatic weather stations across the island.
We're also looking to increase the timeliness of delivery of the data that is representative of rainfall accumulation in our parishes. As it is now, only 10% of our automatic network is real time, and we're looking to increase that. We should get that to very close to 100% in this year.
At the Water Resources Authority, a feasibility desk study has been done for abstraction from the Dry Harbour Mountain Basin. The authority will provide irrigation for farmers from the Black River Basin, and an updated Water Resources Authority master plan will be ready in the financial year.
What it means is that developers will have a more cogent document to assist them with making their plans.
Over at the National Water Commission, the service charge collected from customers has been allowing the NWC to carry out several projects. Among them, a $1.1 billion program to replace storage tanks and pumps. Wastewater plants have been rehabilitated, decommissioned, reconfigured and redirected at Portmore, Soapberry, Harbourview and Port Antonio. The National Water Commission has also rehabilitated supply systems at Essex Valley and 26 facilities in Kingston. While the 13-kilometer transmission main between Spanish Town Road and Glenmore Road in Kingston makes progress, work will begin soon on the Portmore non-revenue water program. Work will start later this year on the Rio Cobre water treatment facility, which will provide an additional 15 million gallons of water per day to the corporate area. And a tender has been issued for a project that will improve water supply in Negril.
We are endeavoring to ensure that whatever we're spending will improve both service delivery as well as reliability.
A key component of any fulsome response to a challenge is a comprehensive plan of action. The government's undergirding plan to address the island's water woes is the National Water Sector Policy 2019. Guided by 6 main principles, including integrated water resource management and universal access, the policy sets out ways to achieve water security for economic growth. So far, Cabinet has approved the appointment of members to the Integrated Water Resource Management Council, the IWRMC.
The establishment of the IWRMC seeks to facilitate broad-based consultation among key stakeholders for matters related to water and water-related resources. The IWRMC will serve as an advisory body for the management of the island's water resources, as well as advancing the agenda for sustainable development.
The island's Drought Management Committee has also been revamped. The committee is currently revising the existing drought management plan, which was first developed in 2000. The revised plan is expected to be ready by the second quarter of the 2020-2021 fiscal year. During the financial year, the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation will also develop a beneficiary identification system framework for the provision of social water to the neediest households on the island. Despite government's efforts to ensure that there's adequate water supply to citizens, the interventions will go in vain if we do not play our part. We all can have water if we practice conservation measures. That is, investing in water-saving faucets, sinks, and toilet bowls. Checking around our homes for leaks and fixing them promptly. Reducing the amount of water used when washing hands, brushing teeth, or bathing. Reusing and recycling water where possible.
The designs for Jamaica's first purpose-built parliament have been submitted to managing agency, the Urban Development Corporation. Work on the project is expected to begin in the first quarter of 2021. The submission follows a 9-month design competition where out of many one people emerged as the winning design. Let's see how this project is expected to impact the island's development.
Our vision is that Kingston must be like what London is to the United Kingdom. We want Kingston to be like what Singapore is to Asia. Kingston should be like what Paris is to France. Kingston must be like what South Africa is to the motherland. We want Kingston, Jamaica, to be the epicenter of the Caribbean region.
And that vision starts with the construction of a new Houses of Parliament complex, the anchoring structure for the proposed Government Oval. To be built within the 300 acres of land surrounding the National Heroes Park, the Oval will have 14 government ministries, agencies, and departments, centrally located to the hub of business and the 7th largest natural harbor in the world. Since the advent of universal adult suffrage in 1944, Jamaicans have had a hand in choosing those who will represent their interests and direct the affairs of the state on their behalf. But long before this important marker in history, Jamaicans have been resolved on the need of a central location from which the affairs of the people are to be administered. Today, Gordon House on Duke Street is that seat of government. This two-story building became the official meeting place of the Jamaican government on Wednesday, October 26, 1960. Like other sites of the past which were found unsuitable for one reason or another, Gordon House is now poised to make way for the march of progress and designation of a new meeting place for the people's representatives.
Gordon House was designed and built for meetings of the municipal council. So the fact is that Gordon House was always a temporary house of parliament. Aside from the issue of insufficient space, lack of adequate parking, and facilities to interact and engage with the public, the building itself lacks the stature and functionality of a modern parliament.
So for decades, various governments have pondered and pursued plans for a new parliament building. Time and again, the consensus was clear. The legislative arm of government should be situated in the place where the nation's heroes are honored, a place where history has left its mark. Heroes Circle, as Jamaicans now know it to be, was once the Kingston Racecourse, the island's premier location for horse racing. The racecourse grounds also hosted cricket, cycling, traveling circuses, and many other entertainment-based events. Around since 1783, the property, previously named Montgomery Pen, was purchased in 1818 by the Kingston Council. It was on these grounds that former slaves celebrated full freedom in 1838, and decades later, Queen Victoria's Golden and Diamond Jubilees. The Jamaica National Exhibition of 1891 was also held on these grounds, at the site of what is now the Wolmer's School. Renamed the George VI Memorial Park in 1953, a war memorial was also erected to honor those who served in the First and Second World Wars. Then, in 1956, as the island was making the transition from British rule to full self-governance, the local authority passed the King George VI Memorial Park Act. This law was designed to wind up operations at the Kingston Racecourse, which would later, in 1973, be renamed in honor of those who played a heroic role in shaping our great nation.
This act primarily designated the Kingston Racecourse as an area of recreation, public gardens, entertainment, and so forth. It also designated that the minister had the authority to designate certain areas as the location for the new parliamentary building.
And I share that vision, that we should make Hero Circle the center, the government circle. We are announcing today the start of what we call Government Circle.
Making good on that announcement, a non-binding agreement was signed with China Construction America for the conceptualization and design of a model.
The idea is to use this project as the catalyst for the regeneration, revitalization of this great asset that we have, downtown Kingston.
The Urban Development Corporation is the leading development agency of the government of Jamaica, and we have been making development happen since 1968.
It is not surprising that when the government of Jamaica decided that it wanted to see Kingston come alive again, see to the redevelopment of Kingston, it turned to the UDC. And indeed, you would have seen some of the efforts bearing fruit already.
One of those is at the northern end of downtown, which would be in and around the National Heroes Park.
We are involved in the government overall project, which we are doing the study and the work for, which would cause the various important ministries of the government to be located in one geographic area for ease of business and so on.
Dear Mr. Prime Minister, what is going to happen to the people of my community, Allman Town?
I am 54 and I've been here from I was born. And my grandmother used to send here my mother and also me. So I really don't want to remove.
The government can't prepare
so much job for the whole of we. So why not develop out here, make we can look after our children?
I'm not talking about displacing the people who are there, because you know what? It is the people that brings the vibrancy to the area.
The UDC has plans to build 5,000 homes for various income bands and create 27 acres of green space.
I like the evolution of the space itself based on the basis of the act, but we must be mindful of the surrounding communities.
I'd love to see that there's some form of a recreational facility inside of the park for the residents, especially the children. So, you know, first they can play the little football or the little netball, any form of activity there. As long as there's space for that, then I'm good with it.
The King George Act, which spoke to kind of the idea or the premise that a parliament building could be in the park, but also that the park is for the people, I think that was captured in the 5 designs. You know, I don't think that there's one project that ignored the public importance of that park.
We hope to see the development take place in a manner where all residents are sensitized, we are engaged, we are involved and included in the process.
My concern is that they are not giving us much information on what's going on.
We have engaged the premier government agency, the Social Development Commission, to assist us in that regard, to meet the people in their communities, to talk to them, to explain what are our thoughts, to listen to them, and to be guided by some of their ideas.
It is not for the comfort of the parliamentarians. It is about making the Jamaican state more effective.
There are a lot of unemployed youths around the community and they won't work. Everyone needs money, so I guess it creates a chance for employment and better housing facilities, because you know some of the houses are not up to par up here.
The residents believe that if the parliament building comes there, they can benefit from additional security. So the station here won't be short of police officers.
It's long in coming, you know. That parliament down there, to me, that outdated. We want a state-of-the-art thing. So whoever go do it, they're moving a step in the right direction.
We're going to build this parliament, and we're going to do it the right way. We're going to take all concerns on board. We're going to take all suggestions on board. It is going to be bipartisan, multi-sectoral, and it will be done in the best interest of all the peoples of Jamaica.
It's really going to change the way that people think about Jamaican architecture.
The excitement is already in the air.
Now just imagine in a few years, this space and the wider downtown area will be transformed into a vibrant, enviable, iconic destination. The Houses of Parliament will be the anchor stone for all of that. It will hold a central position in Kingston, the capital. We will have 14 government ministries and core agencies conveniently and efficiently located within the 300 acres of surrounding land. Can you imagine the efficiency of that when we purposely plan and build for an efficient government?
And that's where our magazine program ends, but only for today. We return tomorrow with another information-packed show just for you. Missed aspects of today's show? Not to worry, just visit our YouTube page to catch this and other programs in full. You may also visit our website, our pages on the major social media platforms, or download our mobile app to keep up with all the positive government-led initiatives happening right across Jamaica. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.